Hi, I'm Kelcy Bremer. I am doing Module 5, Understanding My Community, which is Council Grove. I would like to point out that I live and teach in the same community that I was born and raised in. After teaching in another district for 8 years, we decided to move home to the community that my husband and I were both raised in to raise our own children here. So throughout the presentation, I tried to include actual pictures of my family and the way that Council Grove has impacted our family and our involvement here as well. Some known customs and traditions in Council Grove. We are traditionally small town mentality. We operate by the "it takes a village" thought. Many of us help with each other's children and watch out for each other and just help each other in any way that we can. That also comes with the stereotypical gossip train. So news travels fast here in this small town. It's hard to keep all aspects of your life private. So it's just one of the things that comes with living in a small community. We're proud of our local history. We were one of the last stops on the Santa Fe Trail, and we were named from an agreement between the pioneers and the Osage Nation, who had a reservation here, that allowed the covered wagon trains to pass through the area. Many of them gathered at a grove of trees before moving on west. Seth Hayes is a notable historical figure who settled here in 1846. We still have the Hayes House restaurant in our town, which is said to be the oldest or longest continuously operating restaurant west of the Mississippi. We have 25 historical sites. 13 of them are nationally registered, which brings a lot of tourism to our small town. Some of our community resources, we have two grade schools. One of them is pre-K through 6, and the other is K through 6. One, 7 through 12, junior, senior high, which was a recent change. We recently consolidated. We also have a Butler County Community College outreach building. And then we have a hospital and a family health clinic, a rest home and an assisted living center, a life center, which is like our rec department for working out. It offers classes to adults and community members. It has an indoor saltwater pool, multiple gyms, and just a variety of workout equipment. We have our outdoor aquatic center, which is just our large swimming pool. And then we have our recreation department and a softball complex, baseball field, soccer fields, disc golf courses, a country club, and a golf course. We have one hotel, one motel, and then multiple B&Bs throughout the community. We have one grocery store, one public library, and 9 restaurants. We also have a river walk, and we are centered in the Flint Hills, so we see a lot of people through our community for those reasons. A couple of other really significant resources for our town are the Twin Lakes that are located here. We have a city lake, which has privately owned cabins, but does have public access for boating. And then we also have a federal reservoir that has campsites and also public access for boating. Our community events include Washunga Days, which is our annual festival. It's a weekend-long festival that brings in food vendors and entertainment, as well as the Kaw Nation, which provides powwows and other culturally historic events. And then our community offers a few different events throughout the year. Ladies' Night Out is typically in the summer, and it's just an opportunity for women in the community and often their daughters to go out and shop in the evening. And there's typically refreshments and door prizes and just some good deals in town. And then Evening on the Riverwalk is in the fall. It's just different booths, oftentimes local businesses that set up on the Riverwalk in town and offer snacks and beverages just to get some of their information out. And then Candlelight Charm is done just before Christmas. It's another evening with just some perks for getting out and shopping locally. And then Voices of the Wind, people put on a pageant every summer. Our population characteristics, We're at approximately 2,100 right now, predominantly white. We do have 6% Hispanic, but other than that, not a lot of diversity. 2.5% of our population speaks a language other than English in the home. 43.5 is the median age. 47.9% of our population is male and 52.1% is female. 70% of Council Grove's population is Republican, 23% is Democrat, and 7% is other. And we also have 9 churches in our small town. Some communication channels here in Council Grove. Our local cable company, TCT, provides local ads, sporting events, news, and information on TV, but also broadcasts local sporting events on AM radio and online. The Council Grove Republican is our local newspaper, and it's offered in print and online. We have a City of Council Grove website, the Council Grove Chamber of Commerce website, our USD 417 website, and then various school, classroom, and local group and club Facebook pages. We have what I consider to be a great deal of groups available to our youth. Our city rec department offers soccer, flag football, basketball, t-ball, baseball, and softball to children in the community. Oftentimes, those are free or at a very reduced price. We have private club sports that typically do cost to participate in, such as club wrestling, swim club, and then club football once children have reached a certain age. And then we offer junior and senior high athletics in our schools. We also have various clubs and organizations at our junior and senior high level. We have multiple 4-H clubs, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, a youth rodeo, multiple youth church groups, a dance studio, and we offer Red Cross swim lessons during the summer. We have Big Brothers and Big Sisters in our community, a Rotary Club, 2 PEO chapters, a community arts council that puts on multiple plays and musicals and just art camps for our youth during the year. We have a lake association, a community band, a Flint Hills Ranch rodeo, multiple church groups, which provide a community table for families in the community just to go eat at no cost. We have PTO, an investment club. Silver Sneakers is an exercise group for people of a certain age. We have Weight Watchers. Braves Booster Club supports our athletics. Flint Hills Rebuilders is a group that offers assistance to low-income housing that needs to be renovated or has issues that the families can't afford to take care of themselves. And then we also have Morris County Historical Society. The leadership in Council Grove, Debbie Schwartweger is our mayor. Nick Jones is our city administrator. We have 6 city council members. Aaron Doty is our new USD 417 superintendent. Terry Powell is our Board of Education president, and our board consists of 7 members total. We have 3 school administrators in Council Grove. Heather Honus is the building principal for Council Grove Elementary. Kelly McDiffett and Jay Dornboss are the building principals for Council Grove Junior Senior High. We also have various community members who contribute to decision making in a variety of situations. The characteristics of our community leaders. Our mayor, Debbie Schwartweger, is a local business owner. She's extremely positive and approachable. She's involved in the community and just a friendly person in general. Our city administrator is new to the area. He is married to a Council Grove native, so he has relocated to the area and they're settled here. And so he has ties to our community now and just wants what's best for the area. Our city council and board of education members are locally elected officials. They're approachable. Many of them are involved in other ways, such as being business owners or retired teachers, things like that. Our superintendent is also new to the area. He's making great efforts to be visible and involved and available to the community, and he brings a wealth of new ideas to the community and the district. And then overall, our local leaders seem to all share the same small town values that the residents of Council Grove share. Our economic conditions, I was surprised by our median household income being as low as it is at approximately 38,000. I thought it would be higher than that. 3.9% of our population is unemployed. We are starting to become more of a low income area, especially compared to my perception, at least when I grew up here. Approximately 47% of our students are now free or reduced lunch. And then I went ahead and broke down the levels of education for our population, which is also surprising to me. I thought that the years of college and degrees would be a little bit higher than that. And then our community are typically people who work in the service profession of some type. We are also a farming and ranching community. We have a lot of people who are established here are local business owners, but we also have a lot of people who commute to other towns surrounding Council Grove that live here. Council Grove used to be a railroad community, so we do have a lot of families who are railroad families, but those people now have to travel to a nearby town for that job as well. The political structure of Council Grove, we're a historically conservative community. Our superintendent follows politics extremely closely and works very hard to keep the staff informed as things arise. The Board of Education can act very political at times. Sometimes their decision making becomes very political. And then our previous superintendent also followed politics closely. And when budget freezes were common, he worked very hard to get our district in a good place so that we could have the resources that we needed. Despite being conservative and some of the budget issues, we did recently, I guess within the last 10 years, pass a bond for renovations at our Council Grove High School building, which is now our junior senior high. This included adding on a cafeteria or commons area, an additional gymnasium, a weight room, a wrestling room, locker rooms, as well as updating our football stadium. Some social tensions. There seems to be an increase in drug use in Council Grove. It's just easily seen in our buildings. Our elementary students are coming from homes where this is an issue. There's also some social tensions politically between people who identify as Republican versus people who identify as being Democrat. I think that that's just becoming more common, and social media has a lot to do with that. People get on their platform on Facebook or Twitter or the like, and in a small town, you know the people and you see them daily who have different opinions than you. So that does cause some tension at times. Along those lines, also, we're still experiencing the Common Core debate here. There are a lot of people who speak against that, and then there are also people who support it. Poverty has caused some social tensions. Again, a lot of just low income as well as drug use means that sometimes our students don't have what they need, and the school is now expected to provide some of those things, or even if not expected, does provide some of the things that students aren't able to have or provide for themselves. We did have an increase in suicides within the last 8 to 10 years. That seems to have decreased again, but there was definitely a string of them, which was a great concern to our community. We have had some religious tensions in our small town. We had a church split into two separate churches. And then recently we've also had families that have started leaving the churches that they belong to due to political or social issues that are happening at that at their particular churches, and so they are finding other churches to start attending. And then recently, in the last couple of years, we did close 2 buildings and realigned so that we have our K through 6 buildings and then one 7 through 12 building. That caused a lot of tension among community members as well as district employees, and it kind of established a north versus south issue where the teachers at the northern school did not want to consolidate and send their students to the southern school. Just there was a lot of animosity and collaboration and communication just stopped for a while. We're starting to move past that, but there are still some issues from that realignment process. Some extra sources of information. Our USD 417 district website provides district information as well as community links, student, staff, and parent community resources, and then online services. Our City of Council Grove website is city departments, city council information, forms for residents of Council Grove, permits, and then contact information. The Council Grove Chamber of Commerce website offers information about area events, community organizations, and tourist information. And then our Council Grove newspaper is the Council Grove Republican, and it's available online as well. As far as power structures in Council Grove, we do have one particularly wealthy family. They own a bank and significant amounts of land. They own downtown businesses that they rent to other business owners, as well as properties throughout town that are available as rentals. And then there is a member of that family that also serves on the Board of Education. I will say, as influential as they are also very positive and involved. And although they have a great deal of power in our community, they are well respected and appreciated here. We have a city council, a mayor, business owners, our Board of Education, our superintendent, and then select individuals as well as our district administrators, some of our teachers, and some of our law enforcement officers are the people who tend to hold the most power in our community. We do have a small ELL population when we look at our multicultural issues, but very little diversity in Council Grove in general. We do have an ELL coordinator in our district at this time because some translation is needed when communicating with that small ELL population. And then we do very little to promote multiculturalism throughout our community or schools, with the exception of our community's Native American history, which is what's pictured on this slide. That's the monument that was recently built to provide the Kaw Nation with a place to pay tribute to their heritage and where they perform when they come back each year. The known power structures here, it is a predominantly Republican community with conservative beliefs. Typically, change isn't really embraced here. Diversity isn't always embraced. It can be a place where you hear offhand comments. And so sometimes that is difficult to deal with, that people can be somewhat closed-minded. In my opinion, because of those extremely conservative beliefs, we haven't made education a priority in our town. The building pictured here is the building I work at, and we're in need of some updates and just don't have the resources to do that at this time. A lot of people in the community, although they send their children to school, are far removed from the needs of our school. We do have a younger generation moving in, such as my husband and I. There are a lot of people around our age who have relocated to Council Grove, and we're trying to move forward and impact change. But at this time, we're still overwhelmingly outnumbered by the people who just have those traditional conservative beliefs. As far as measuring public opinion, we do provide a community needs assessment and an annual parent engagement survey at our district. And then we have a Board of Education patron forum at each board meeting each month. And then the Council Grove Republican often has letters to the editor where people can voice their opinion. This one, public opinion surveys, typically it is a pickup and drop off survey. We do some personal interviews, especially like in the classroom setting, but those are very limited. I would say we probably have the most significant room to improve in this area. We just don't seek each other's input or opinion often. And I think that would allow our community to grow if we could find a way to make that more of a common practice in our community.